Hey, this is Vu, and today I'm going to be looking at Heroic's extremely crisp T-side on Inferno. What they do on T-side on Inferno better than almost anyone I've looked at is they force SK into a situation where they have to be very uncomfortable with playing any aggressive early setups. Heroic gets very aggressive very early, and they focus on flash busts where they toss one or two flashes as they run out to avoid their opponent's mollies and to catch them in situations where they haven't yet set into their passive sight hold crossfires. You're going to find that most counter-terrorist teams on Inferno aren't comfortable giving up both banana and top mid control. That's because actually holding passive with no information on the map can be very hard to do. So Heroic, recognizing this, when they get banana control, they'll oftentimes just go for these fast busts and catch the other team in these situations where they might have a nade out, or they might be in solo aggressive spots, or just not set up into their traditional crossfires in sight quite yet, where they have a player in pit and a player in sight or things like that. And you're going to see them do this quite often early in the half. Then later on in the half, these teams that they play against, of course SK in this instance, they have to play much more passive because they're worried about these aggressions and they have to give up map control early. So this one they're doing here, they smoke off arch side. They do this a lot. They smoke off arch side. They're going to toss a couple of flashes to bust out quickly and catch their opponents off guard. If anybody's playing towards truck side, they're going to get instantly wrecked, and the players that are towards site are not yet set in comfortable positions. Taco manages to get 2 kills here, but Fallen's rotating in from arch unprepared for the actual execution. Taco's going to get killed, and that's going to be a 2 for 2 and control of the A site going the way of Heroic, which is really not something you want as a counter-terrorist on this map. You're going to see Heroic do this quite a few times, and eventually SK is actually going to start giving up the entirety of top mid, allowing Heroic to go into very solid smoke Molotov executes that will kind of shut down a lot of the crossfires that SK might want to be running. So in the previous round, Heroic has won by busting very quickly out from Boiler side with a couple of flashes and a smoke towards arch, and they managed to catch SK a little bit off guard, just not in their standard passive setup. So this round they're going to try and punish that aggression at banana. The previous setup was basically trying to punish anybody playing a little bit out in the open towards truck like Fallen is this round, and he will be punished for this. And of course this round they're trying to do the same at banana and try and tell SK, you're not going to be able to get this control for free. You're going to have to fight us to get control of top banana. You're going to have to waste your utility, and you're going to have to worry about whether or not it's going to work out. And you can see that by the time Phelps and Fur actually back off from banana, they've wasted all of their utility, less a single flash. That's going to make them holding any execute that might come in, which in fact will come in later on in the half, a lot harder to hold. After they secure that top banana control, they know their opponents have fallen off. They're going to throw a little bit of a fake, hoping to draw a half rotate or a full rotate, especially because Phelps and Fur have no utility to work with. And they're going to do the same bust out on A. Here comes the flash from Snappy, and they're going to catch Fallen in the middle of the open. This is exactly what they're hoping for. They grab that one. Taco's not prepared. Now he's stuck in pit with not a lot of utility, and he's just going to go 1 for 1. So now SK's gone 2 for 1, or that's 1 for 2 on that A bomb site, giving up control, and the rotate's not even going to come in because nobody on SK has full utility to work with. And not only that, but they're also stuck on the other side of the map. So that's a perfect round there from Heroic, showing exactly what they want to happen when they do that bust out from Boiler. Now heading over to round number 7, you're going to see Heroic try and make another flash, very aggressive play. Again, trying to catch SK while they have utility out or while they're kind of in the middle of the open and blind. They do very simple things like this very often, a couple flashes out, and they're going to try and make a play. This one works a little differently than maybe they expected. They're going to go with 4 players towards banana, and as they get to top banana and line up a couple of flashes to actually go through this smoke, they're going to have a molly drop down on top of S3 tag here. So he's just going to push through all on his own, and it's actually going to work out exactly perfectly. He comes around the corner, he's going to be able to find 2 entries on players full blind from those flashes, They didn't pull utility out, they just tried to fight where the terrorists have somewhat of an advantage, of course, with the AKs and with higher numbers, and that's going to be B site control given the way to Heroic, just the way A site control was given to them the previous round. So we're heading into another following round here. This is the 8th round. This is 4 in a row now, and Heroic know two things. First, they know SK is going to be a little bit worried about going aggressive towards Banana because they've been punished for it several times now, and they also know that SK is on a bit of a half buy. They did save some guns the previous round, so they will have some firepower, but they won't have a full buy and thereby won't have full utility to deal with and execute. So Heroic knowing, all right, SK is probably not going to play aggressive towards Banana, and they're not going to have a lot of utility to deal with us. We're just going to run directly into B site. They throw a solid execute with mollies towards new box and oranges, and they just run right in and get those trade frags and take the round. Very simple, and it looks a lot easier maybe than it is because they've set this one up very well in the previous rounds. This is the type of thing you don't see when you look at a video of, Biggs A execute on Inferno or any other execute. You don't see the rounds where they set this stuff up, drawing out utility, preventing their opponent from wanting to play aggressive because they've been punished for it, things like that, that really set up these executes to look as good as they do when they come out. Now, of course, as I said, it's against a half buy, so it's not the best buy ever. They probably could have done something a little less, nade intensive or something, but Inferno is a map where force buys can get a lot done. You can see a lot of force buys win rounds for either side, especially counter terrorists. So Heroic didn't really want to take a risk there. They played the safe play and they did something they knew would work. So another subsequent round comes in. It's going to be round number 9, and Heroic with another extremely crisp play. They're going to do their same truck bust out. And it seems so simple. However, they know that because of how they've basically rolled over Banana, I believe that's 3 rounds in a row now, SK is likely to want to play a little bit aggressive towards truck side. They're likely to want to switch things up a bit, and they're going to try and catch them with the same bust out again. Now, you could put this one potentially a little bit on SK for not realizing that maybe playing towards truck side isn't going to work out because of this bust out. However, at the same time, they have to try something. They've lost 5 rounds in a row now, all partial or full buys, and it's not been working out very well for them. But unfortunately, this one doesn't work out very well either. Cold's going to get full blind by both flashes. They're going to come in. Madi and Nico are going to find both entries, take it down 2 for 0 on that entry because SK is playing aggressive. And heading into the next rounds, Heroic is probably going to be under the impression that SK doesn't want to play this aggression again. You can see them punishing the aggression from SK, and then in the later rounds in the half, they're going to punish the passivity that they're forced into with crisp, clean locks, executes onto the deep bomb site. So SK has gone for a pause here, and if you listen into their team speak, you can hear that they're a little bit frustrated. Guys! Stop losing truck. What the fuck? You're losing us the game, guys. You're just getting entryed on every time. What the fuck? And they do seem a little bit agitated, so let's see what they do this round. Unsurprisingly, they're going to go into an extremely passive setup. They're going to be spotting towards arch side, and they're going to be playing Cold and Taco sitting basically all the way passive. Cold is just kind of spotting towards truck if they try and walk up. Taco's kind of spotting it as well, but they're going to give it up immediately as soon as any nades come out. And Heroic, knowing that they're probably going to play passive like this, goes for a full deep sight execute. Nades to cross off pit. They drop straight into pit and get the free pit control. And they're going to try and go from there to try and take out sight with a few mollies, a couple flashes, and a kind of interesting play there by Madi to jump across from pit and grab a couple kills and nearly a third. Brilliant play there from Heroic. They recognize that SK Gaming probably going to start going a little bit more passive after being executed on and demolished at truck side for, I believe that's 3 rounds now. Every time they've gone there, they demolished them. So Heroic executed on them deep sight, knowing they'd play passive, and it worked extremely well. So it'd be a little bit unfair of me not to show actually how this type of play can break down and how it can go wrong for you, because Heroic has really kind of dominated the game so far. They have lost a couple rounds, but other than the pistols, they've only lost one gun round. And finally, this is round number 14, SK finally kind of finds a way that they want to try and deal with this. Heroic's going to go for the early banana control, and SK, from the beginning, they're starting to set up to go for Hall's control. They recognize that most of the time Heroic is going for that truck control, and they're basically saying here, if they bust out apps, we're going to grab that kill really quickly, and if they go up truck, we're gonna force out, we're gonna take apartments control and let them up truck, and hopefully we can get an entry in apartments to make up for it, and then play a retake on the bomb site. So here you're gonna see Heroic run right up truck side. SK, they're going to be able to find a pick in apartments, and they've got plenty of utility to work with from the other side of the map, or at least a little bit, even though Heroic went to draw out their nades, and they're just going to go for a retake from apartments control and from truck side control as well. Now, they actually lose the round here. However, this is one of the ways that these rounds can win, because SK here, they're in a 3v2. They know both players are trapped on site. They know exactly where they both are. They're just unable to grab the kills quite in time to win the round, as they don't have a full buy-up. They had 2 umps into the round, and they weren't able to buy any kits. So Phelps is going to get the kill. He's going to have to run away with the op, and it's going to be a round loss. So I'll actually go back a couple of rounds to show you the way the execute themselves can fail when you're doing these quick bust outs with a couple players. Now, Heroic's doing this with Maudie and Nico. Again, I've said this multiple times, they bust out with these 2 players after they get apartments control. One way this can be shut down is actually if SK goes for and successfully holds that apartments control and maybe gets a kill or 2. But the other way this can work is if one player or a quick pop flash actually shuts down the execute as it's coming out. So what's going to happen is they're going to find an entry. Fallen is going to find 2 kills, and you're going to see that with those kills, the whole bust out has been completely shut down. You're going to see Snappy, S3 tag, and Yugi or Jugi, whatever you want to call them, trapped in middle. They don't have any control of the map because they were relying on their teammates' quick bust out to secure that control for them. They haven't drawn any nades out of Phelps and Fur because this was meant to be either an A-site execute, which was kind of thrown off by that entry that Maudie got, or it was meant to be exactly what it was, which was an apartments bust out. And this means that when they do go back towards Banana here, Fur and Phelps are going to be very easily able to hold on because they've got Molotovs, 1 each, they've got flashes, they even have a smoke on Fur to toss down to prevent the rush from doing absolutely anything, and it's just going to get completely shut down. So of course, that's one way you can directly stop the push. It's a little bit risky when you do these quick bust outs, because if those 2 players get taken down, a lot of the time that was your only way of getting full map control, and just one player in a weird spot that catches you off guard can really shut you out there. But anyways, this is how Heroic played their T-side on Inferno. I think it was a beautiful T-side. I think they played it very well. They played off teammates, off of quick pop flashes, and they really kind of played SK. So anyways, thanks for watching, and I hope this helped.